Dear students, have a great day to all of you. Today also you have gathered here with our new video launched by SL Argentan YouTube channel. If you can remember, we have already distributed 4 videos for you regarding the special past paper discussion program. Today is the 5th one. So all of you will join with us and please take the past paper book as well and get ready for our today's lesson. So let's start. Okay, my dear children, this question is from 2017 O-level paper, and I thought this question is very suitable for you since this question is regarding with biology part, right? So once you see the question, you will realize this is the question based with human blood circulatory system question, right? So read the question first. Right. If you consider about red blood cells here, red blood cells are known as the most abundant blood cell type in our body. Children, do you know, if I consider about the red blood cell, right, the outer section of the red blood cell is like this. And if I consider the cross section of the blood cell, of the red blood cell, it is something like this. It has an endemic shape like this, right? And children, the major special thing is red blood cells are not containing nucleus when it is matured. This question is asked few years in past papers, right? When red blood cells are matured, the nucleus is absent inside there. That means, is that a living? Yes, definitely, right? When it is prematured, it was containing a nucleus, but when it is becoming matured, right, that nucleus is absent there. Why? Normally, children, do you know the major function of the red blood cell is containing oxygen and carbon dioxide and transporting them throughout the body. So for having oxygen and carbon dioxide very well, the space is needed. That's why the nucleus is not present inside the body, inside that cell. So those are the common things you have to be familiar, right? And that's the most abundant one. One question is asked from you here. Which blood cells are the abundant, most abundant in blood? What's that? Red blood cells, children, right? Do you know there's a simple idea I want to give you. If you consider about red blood cells and white blood cells, there's a ratio between red blood cells and white blood 600 to 1. See, so higher amount is having belongs to red blood cells, isn't it? Here red blood cells 600 to white blood cell 1. So this is also another important point for you in your O-level examination syllabus, right? Okay, so children, these things are also important. The functions of each one, the function of red blood cells and the functions of white blood cells. First we discuss about the functions of, okay, so those are the two parts we identified regarding our human blood, right? Now, do you know what are the things included inside this blood plasma and what are the parts included inside the blood cells? Those things are very important to be remembered, right? Okay, children, okay, now try to understand this part, children. Normally our blood, right, inside our body more than 90% is containing water. So mainly in our cells also water is included, and mainly in our blood water is containing with a higher amount. Where? In this blood plasma. Normally, children, our blood plasma is containing the higher amount of water inside our blood, right? So except with water, there are another contents inside the blood plasma, right? Mainly proteins and mainly some vitamins and minerals. And do you know, when our food is digested gradually, the final product is formed with our blood, right? Can you remember about small intestine? In the small intestine, there are the places called villi, the microscopic parts. So through that, the final products in our blood, our digestive system is converted, is absorbed to blood, mainly glucose, mainly fatty acid, mainly glycerol, and mainly amino acids. Those things are also finally absorbed to our blood. So our blood is containing those things as well. And also urea, those things are also, urea is known as an excretory material that is also included inside the blood. So those are the things which are mainly found inside blood plasma. So I told you plasma is a solution, it's a liquid type solution. Other one is blood cells. Blood cells are doing a major performance inside our body. Why we call it like that? There are major two parts of blood cells. One is red blood cells, other one is white blood cells. Red blood, right. If you consider about red blood cells here, red blood cells are known as the most abundant blood cell type in our body. Children, do you know, if I consider about the red blood cell, right, the outer section of the red blood cell is like this. And if I consider the cross section of the blood cell, of the red blood cell, it is something like this. It has an endemic shape like this, right? And children, the major special thing is red blood cells are not containing nucleus when it is matured. This question is asked few years in past papers, right? When red blood cells are matured, the nucleus is absent inside there. That means, is that a living? Yes, definitely, right? When it is prematured, it was containing a nucleus, but when it is becoming matured, right, that nucleus is absent there. Why? Normally, children, do you know the major function of the red blood cell is containing oxygen and carbon dioxide and transporting them throughout the body. So for having oxygen and carbon dioxide very well, the space is needed. That's why the nucleus is not present inside the body, inside that cell. So those are the common things you have to be familiar, right? And that's the most abundant one. One question is asked from you here. Which blood cells are the most abundant in blood? What's that? Red blood cells, children, right? Do you know there's a simple idea I want to give you. If you consider about red blood cells and white blood cells, there's a ratio between red blood cells and white blood, 600 to 1. See, so higher amount is belongs to red blood cells, isn't it? Here, red blood cells 600 to white blood cell 1. So this is also another important point for you in your O-level examination syllabus, right? Okay. So, children, these things are also important. The functions of each one, the function of red blood cells and the functions of white blood cells. First, we discuss about the functions of, right. If you consider about the functions of red blood cells, the main function is transporting carbon dioxide and oxygen. Children, carbon dioxide and oxygen are known as respiratory gases inside our body. So, both oxygen and carbon dioxide are transported through our red blood cells. Children, I tell you something. Now, when we are breathing, we are taking oxygen inside our body. And when we are exhaling, we are releasing carbon dioxide out of the body. So, would you have identified a question? What happened of the oxygen which are taken by us? And what happened the carbon dioxide which was released by us? Children, how those carbon dioxide is made? In energy reactions inside our cells, carbon dioxide is released. Carbon dioxide is an excretory gas inside our body that is not needed to our body. That's why it should be emitted, it should be released. So, the made carbon dioxide is taken to lungs by our red blood cells. And white blood, through the red blood cells, we are taking oxygen into our body. That oxygen is taken by red blood cells and transported to the cells. So, children, it is like this, right? Now, simply I'll take this for you. Right? Now consider this is our lung. One lung is there, right? So, oxygen, O2 gas is coming to our lungs. How? When we are breathing, oxygen gas is coming to our lung. Then children, right? Carbon dioxide gas which was made by our body, it was taken to lungs by our red blood cells, right? Then what happens? Oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged inside the lung, right? And what happens? Carbon dioxide is gradually released out, oxygen is gradually taken inside. So that process was also done by with the help of red blood cells. So that is also the major important point you need to identify through this part, right? So that is the major function done by red blood cells. So children, that is also very important. Those are the things you need to remember regarding red blood cells. That is enough for your O-level examination, right? Okay, well, so those are blood cells, right? Other one is white blood cells. Children, white blood cells are the protectors of our body. They are the guardians of our body. Why? Our body is protected from diseases and other unnecessary germs. All the things, our body is protected with the help of our white blood cells. Mainly children, have you heard about human immunizing system? Now, children, human blood circulatory system, human digestive system, human respiratory system, human excretory system, those things are visible now inside our body. But if you consider about a human immunizing system, is there a visible system? No, that is not a visible system. But because of that, due to that, our body is protected from lots of diseases as well as harmful germs too. So that work, that duty is done by our white blood cells, right? So that one also important. If you are asked by someone what is the major function of white blood cells, protecting our body, protecting the human body, especially from the bacterial diseases, virus diseases, and mainly from other harmful unnecessary germs, right? Now come to the question, which blood cells are most abundant in blood? What is the answer? What is the answer? Red blood cells, RBC, red blood cells. So the full answer should be included. It should be red blood cells. Of the components given above, write two components that belongs to blood plasma. Right, children. Now I told you no that plasma is containing the soluble things inside our body. So we can't take the red blood cells, white blood cells, because they are belongs to already blood cells. Platelets, I will tell you about platelets later. So we can't take platelets into plasma. I will take it for the next question. Please wait. Proteins, glucose, calcium 2 plus, urea. Children, proteins, that one also okay, right? And actually if the answer should be amino acid, that is the very good answer. But if they have mentioned proteins, that also can be taken. Glucose, calcium 2 plus, urea. So those are the components which are included in blood plasma. So you asked about two components, so you can choose any two above regarding 4. State a nitrogenous waste material present in blood. Urea. What is the answer? Urea. So children, our major excretory waste material is urea. Do you know where urea is produced? I'll give you 5 seconds. Can you tell me? Can you comment where urea is produced? 4, 3, 2, 1. Where the urea is produced? Children, urea is produced in our human liver, right? Human liver. So the urea which was produced in human liver is transported to human kidneys. So human kidney is the place where urine is produced. Through the urine, the urea is released out from the body. Understand? Right. So state a nitrogenous waste material present in blood. What is the answer? Urea. So if you have any suspect mind in your body, why it is mentioned as nitrogenous? That means children, inside the urea, nitrogen should be included as an element. Is that sure? Is that okay? Yes. Here, this is the chemical formula of urea. So it should be nitrogen. See here, nitrogen is present. That means urea is a nitrogenous waste material inside our body. Where it is produced? Liver. Where it is released? From where it is released? Through the kidneys. Understand? Right. See the next question you are given here. Given below is a diagram of the blood cell that belongs to a certain type. To which component given above does its cell belongs to? Right. Okay, children, the white blood cells can be divided again to two types with their out appearance, right? Here some types of white blood cells are there. In their blood cell plasma, the dots are present. Those are known as granules, right? And some cell plasmas are present there. They are not presenting granules. So, right, they are not presenting. Huh? They are not presenting granules. So, these are known as granulocyte. These are known as non-granulocyte. Right? So, no need to think about more regarding this here. Just because of the outer appearance, we are dividing into them to two types. Right? So, granulocyte red blood cells, there are three types. One is neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils. Non-granulocytes, there are two types: lymphocytes and monocytes. So how many right now? 5, right? Granulocyte and non-granulocyte. So now these both are belongs to which one? White blood cells, WBC. So answer should be white blood cell. State a function of the blood component to which the cell given in the above belongs to, right? I told you, protecting the body from the virus diseases, bacterial diseases, making the immunization of our body, right? And also destroying the germs, harmful germs from our body. So those are known as the functions of the white blood cells. Since I told you, white blood cells are the protectors of our body, and our body is protected. They are acting as our protector and guardian of our body, white blood cells. So you can state any function regarding that I have mentioned.